Hey friends, this is a live tutorial page on madebychip.com. You can switch from light to dark mode, it's mobile responsive, and it comes with smooth animations. If you have ever handed an AI tool a design and asked for working code, you already know some of it gets lost in translation. That's the real question I wanted answered. How much can this actually do on its own? And where does a designer still need to step in? So in this video, I'm going to show you the real workflow. The actual first output Claude gave me, the parts it got right without being told, and the parts that still needed my eye to catch. Let's get into it. Before I show you the proper workflow, let me show you where this all started. Before I design anything in Figma, I asked Claude to just take a crack at the page. No design, no reference. Just a prompt describing what I wanted. Here is that first output. Okay, a few things jump out immediately. The author info is all crammed on one row. Name, date, read time, category. All on the same line. That doesn't feel right. The social icons are broken. Logo is broken and that TLDR call out with the left accent border, very AI generated. I wouldn't design it that way. On mobile, the chapter sidebar is just sitting on top of the main content, completely covering it, not usable. So I went to Figma and designed it properly first. Then I exported that artboard into paper. That's what I actually handed to Claude Code. Quick context on the tools. Paper is a design tool. Think Figma, but it runs a local MCP server in the background while your file is open. That's the connection to Claude Code. From your terminal, you run designtocode, which tells Claude to reach into paper, grab your current selection, and read the actual design structure, spacing, typography, tokens, layout. Not a screenshot, but the real thing. I designed in Figma first because that's what I'm used to. Then I exported the artboard into paper and kick off the workflow from Claude Code with a simple prompt. Convert the design to an HTML page. Make it mobile responsive. Use the Cow Sans font. Claude asked me upfront, React app or standalone HTML? I choose standalone because this was a new tutorial page. And it starts building. I hovered on the navigation. Opacity changes. That interaction wasn't in my design spec. Yet, Claude translated it into working CSS on its own. Nice. But this next one is the one that really got me. The copy button. I click it, and a check icon appears. That's the success state after you have copied something. The check was black at first. I later prompted it to switch to green, but the color isn't the point. The point is, I never designed that state. I had a copy icon in my design, just the icon sitting there. Claude inferred that when you click copy, it should confirm the copy happened and build the whole interaction itself. Before and after, without me showing it. In Figma, that's a whole component to design. Two states, link. Here, it just appeared. I'll come back to what that means. The FAQ accordion works. Expand, collapse, correctly built. The email it put works as a real text field. These moments of Claude filling in, interaction, logic I never designed, that's the part that changed how I think about this workflow. Okay, here's where the designer's judgment comes in. Assets were broken. The logo corrupted on the paper import, and the social icons weren't rendering. I exported the logo as SVG, exported the social icons, named them clearly, and gave Claude specific instructions on which hero icons names to use at each section. After that pass, everything renders. Dark mode toggle updates the whole page correctly. Next was the font weight. After checking, I found that when you import a Figma artboard into paper, Font weights and bullet points don't carry over properly. They got lost in translation. I had to prompt Claude specifically to fix both. Fix. Looks right now. Then, there was the portrait. I wanted the headshot sitting above the name, overlapping the top edge of the card. Claude put it dead center. I reprompted with a screenshot reference. It moved, but too high. The shoulder was clipping the border. I manually changed the padding top from 7 rem to 2 rem. Then reprompted again to shift the name and text down underneath it. 3 rounds of prompting for one layout detail. That's the real workflow. Third time, correct. The last one was centering. The sidebar and article weren't actually centered. The right margin was bigger than the left. I drew the margins in Figma, pasted that screenshot as reference, and Claude fixed it. This is the final result. Both views, both modes. And here's what I keep coming back to. The obvious takeaway is, look how much time this saved. And it did. One afternoon for a fully responsive animated HTML page. But the more interesting question for me is what the designer's role actually is in this. My judgment still mattered the whole way through. I had to know the cramped author role looked wrong. So I went back to Figma and redesigned it properly. I had to have an eye for illustration styles to use. I had to catch the font weight. None of that is automated. That's design literacy. That's the value that stays. But think about what Claude did without being asked. I only designed light mode, but Claude generated dark mode entirely on its own. I never designed the copy interaction success state, and Claude built it anyway. The interaction spec layer used to live in Figma. I would design the default, the hover, the active, the success state, all of it. Here, Claude just fill it in. Which raises a real question. Where does interaction design live now? In a prompt file? In a design token spec? In a markdown doc that travels with the component? I genuinely don't have a clean answer, but I would love to know what you think. Drop it in the comments. If there's enough interest, I will do a follow-up on how to structure AI-ready design specs. All the resources from this tutorial are free at madebychip.com. Prompts, the HTML file, the Figma source. Link is in the description. Thank you for watching, and if these 3 tutorials have been useful to you, I have a small favor to ask. I'm looking for 10 founders or design leads for a free diagnostic sprint. It is a short conversation where I learn how your team currently ships, and you walk away with a clear map of exactly where AI is ready to remove a real bottleneck. Not where it sounds exciting, but where it actually helps. The reason I want to do this is because a tutorial can only show you what worked for me. The sprint is a chance to look at your team's actual setup and tell you what will work for you. If that sounds useful, click the yellow Book a Diagnostic Sprint button at madebychip.com, where I have 10 spots open. See you in the next one.